Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today on Not a Nail Tech, I'm taking you to a really gorgeous crystal shop because we have decided that we're going to do a little series all based on gemstones. So we thought we'd go and get some real life gemstones to use as our inspiration rather than just working off images. We thought this would be much better and a bit more accurate. So as you can see, we've just picked out some gemstones that are all a little bit different that we thought looked a bit interesting and could be cool to use as inspiration. And today we've chosen to use the Amethyst gemstone. A little bit classic, you'll have seen the technique done many times before. I thought it would just be nice to go back over it and maybe update it. As you can see, it's got some different shades of purple in there and white as well, so that's mainly what I'm going to be working with. So I'm using some of our Almond nail tips today. They're a really gorgeous shape actually and work really well for this design. And first of all, I'm starting out mixing some Snow White and Top Coat just to make a milky white for the base, because I don't want them to be too opaque, but I do want them to have enough opacity that you can't really see the nails that they're stuck to beneath. Once that's cured, I'm just using some blooming gel and some Lilac Breeze, and I'm going to be popping down the blooming gel all over the nail and then just adding in some bits of this Lilac Breeze on top of there and just letting it bloom out. So I'm just going to be doing some random patterns, random shapes, and then adding in some detail later. And I have to say, I definitely overcomplicated this nail as I was doing it. It's a while since I've done this kind of technique and I probably could have missed out a couple of steps, but that's fine. I can explain it as we're going. Once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to pop it into cure, and then I'm going back in with blooming gel and I'm just going to add a nice thin layer of that all over the nail again. I'm just going to leave that uncured, and then I'm going in with some Moonchild. I love this colour, it's so pretty, and I'm just doing the same kind of effect again, just using that brush and sweeping the colour across the nail. So I don't want it too opaque, I literally just want a little bit of texture and colour. You can just play with this until you're happy with it. And I'm just doing the same at the bottom of the nail over the colours we've used previously. As you can see, I spent quite a lot of time just playing around with this until I was happy with where the colour was sitting and the density in different places, but you can make this a much quicker process once you know what you want to do. So while that's still uncured, I'm using some gel residue remover and just going back in with one of our ombre brushes and just sweep that across the nail, and it'll just remove some of the colour we've previously put on and add a bit more texture in there too. I'm going to pop that into cure, and then I'm going in with another layer of blooming gel. Like I say, keep this nice and thin because you don't want the nail to be too bulky with all of these different layers, and just smooth that across the nail. Keep that uncured, and then we're using some Snow White and we're just going in and doing a similar thing with this and just sweeping this across the nail just to add some detail and texture. I'm just taking one of our fine detail brushes and using that to add in some details as well, just for a little bit of something different compared to what we've already had on there, and it'll just make the colour a little bit more intense as well. And I'm just taking that gel residue remover on a brush and sweeping that across just to disperse the colour out a little bit more. Once I've popped that into cure, I'm literally just taking some more of that Moonchild and going back in, and we're just doing the same process over again. So just adding in that colour, and we're going to go in with some gel residue remover and another brush and just kind of disperse the colour out a little bit differently, so it's opaque in some areas and a little bit more sheer in others. So I just tend to go along the line and let the gel residue remover just kind of do its thing. And before I cure it, I'm just going back in with some Snow White just to add in some really fine lines. Once that's cured, I'm going to take our gel top coat nail sealer and pop this all over the top of the nail. And I love this gel polish just for smoothing out any texture when you're using a blooming gel and adding other products into that. It does kind of bulk out in some areas sometimes, so you've just got to kind of fill that out. And I have gone back in once that's cured with a buffing block just to smooth the texture down on the top layer. But I did do a full set of these for you, and I did find that the other nails I kind of simplified it a little bit and didn't go in with as many layers, and it made it a much smoother nail, so you can simplify it and do some of these techniques in one layer. So I'm just using some top coat just to finish it all off, and it'll smooth it all out again, and I'll show you in a second what it looks like as a full set too. Pop that into cure, and there we have that one nail. I think it's really pretty, a little bit abstract, has the kind of textures of the stone, and then yeah, you can see like it's got the same kind of lines in it. The stone has a lot of straighter lines. I wanted to make it look a little bit more organic, but you can do whatever you want. You can just use these techniques in different ways to get the effect that you're after. You can see from this angle as well, just those different lines. And here's the full set, guys. I think they've turned out really cute as a full set, to be honest. You can see how they all look a little bit different, and they all have different tones and depths to them. I think that makes them really pretty. If you want any of the products we've used today, they'll be linked down below and tagged in the video as well. Let us know down below what you thought of today's video and what you'd like to see next, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye!